they called their trust in God we.
Yep.
That's the name of it. But they did it so cleverly that when you read it out, in God we trust, you think you're saying,
Yes.
we trust God.
Back in the day when television stations used to go off air, they would typically play a message. And during the 1960s, they used the national anthem to convey some very interesting subliminal messages.
Then the exit, portrayed by angels taking up the children into, check this out, here's another item we glean, a detail, into UFOs.
Welcome back. My name is Renee, and this is Highly Motivated, a channel where we check out different things that I find interesting, and hopefully you will too. Today, we are checking out some crazy videos that are probably gonna shatter your worldview. If you're new here, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you're always notified when I upload a new video, and please like this video. Without further ado, let's get into the video. This first one is crazy. When I first saw this, I was literally blown away. I don't know if any of you have seen this before, but let me know what you think about it in the comments.
Remember about subliminal messages is that they aren't meant to be observed on a conscious level. They are meant to be absorbed subconsciously. And it's that exact case that we run into with this sign-off screen from the 1960s. Back in the day when television stations used to go off air, they would typically play a message. And during the 1960s, they used the national anthem to convey some very interesting subliminal messages. Check this shit out.
This time, we're gonna watch it slowed way down. Tell me if you notice anything different from the last time you watched it. Did you see the letters change at the bottom? Let's watch it again in even slower frame by frame motion.
Trust the You guys read that, right?
It happens so quickly you can barely see it. But you aren't meant to physically, literally see it. You are meant to subconsciously see it. It is meant to go into the subconscious and implant itself into your brain on a subconscious level. And this continues throughout this entire national anthem, and it becomes basically like the script for the movie They Live.
I was thinking this. I didn't catch that one. God is real. God is watching. Yes, He is. In government, God. Wow.
The thing to remember about subliminal...
And that was on television for the world, well, all of America to see, right? Subliminally programming their minds to look at their government as God. And they probably didn't think that anybody was going to go over those words that slowly and actually see their subliminal messaging. Crazy. We're not done yet. Here we have another TikTok from someone that I follow on YouTube. I believe the original channel is Supernatural by Design. However, this TikTok was on Beyond the Firmament. But this has to do with the I Pet Goat 2 prophecies. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. However, they are explained. So this was pretty mind-blowing as well.
Chinese zodiac symbols. The year of the tiger, the year of the rabbit, and the year of the dragon. It's our year of the rabbit connection that ties us to the rapture. In this scene here, this year of the rabbit connection with the rabbit on the back of the wall tied to this exit sign, as the exit sign is symbolic for the rapture, because when the lights fade out, the video itself highlights the rabbit. You see that spotlight on it? As well as the exit door, the rapture. And so we have the year of the rabbit tied to the year of the rapture. Now, if you think this is contrived, just making this up, well, as we discussed, this scene in this particular video, I want to bring to your attention the reindeer as well as the child. So we have 4 symbols here: the reindeer, the child, the rabbit, and the exit. And remember, this came out in 2012, which is key in order to appreciate the next connection. But 3 years earlier, in 2009, this movie with Nicolas Cage called The Knowing
Great movie.
carries the exact same 4 symbols 3 years earlier within the same scene, which is another key detail. And so this is our second example, tying the year of the rabbit to the year of the rapture, 2023. Because as we watch this scene from the movie, it makes an even stronger case why 2023 is the year of the rapture, tied to the year of the rabbit. And so here, check this out. There's symbol number 1, the reindeer. A few moments later, the rabbit and the child, symbols 2 and 3. And then the exit, portrayed by angels taking up the children into, check this out, here's another item we glean, a detail, into UFOs, pointing to the fact that UFOs are tied to the rapture. And no wonder we're seeing a whole bunch of testimonies about UFOs in the news. Saints, we're very close to the rapture. And as both of these videos point out, not only the similar 4 symbols, but that the year of the rapture is tied to the year of the rabbit. And remember, these videos came out 3 years apart, and arguably for 2 different audiences, yet sharing the exact same theme. And so it's reason number 2 why the year of the rabbit is tied to the year of the rapture, 2023. Now, for more details, Chinese...
Wow. See, that is wild. No one knows the day or the hour. However, we were told to watch, because I believe that we are going to be able to tell when the season is coming, right? Otherwise, it wouldn't have been pushed so hard to watch. And the enemy, he studies God's word too. So I believe that he's waiting and he's watching as well. And who knows, and no one knows for sure. However, like I said, we should be watching. And I don't like anyone who professes to know for sure, but I do appreciate those who watch and speculate. moving right along.
What happened to this mysterious lost language? There is a legend that a universal language exists that transcends all beings, regardless of their native tongue. It is said that this universal language was so powerful that it also held the key to communicating with beings of other realms and worlds. Well, you might think it's all just a legend, but in Genesis chapter 11, verse 1, it says, "Now the world had one language and a common speech, and only after humans tried to build a tower to reach God were we all made to forget this language, dividing the people." Furthermore, in the Emerald Tablets written by Thoth, it confirms that this language, even though lost, still exists, and if we hear it, you will instantly recognize it and understand it. It is also rumored that the reason why people who go through alien abduction start to lose their mind is that when abducted, this language is forcefully downloaded into our cerebral cortex, letting us hear and understand everything, everywhere. Even though linguists and archaeologists have searched for this language for many years, many are still unaware that it exists, and maybe we should be asking the question, what happened to this mysterious?
That is amazing. And I wonder if there are people who do know it, and if that is one of the things that has been hidden from us for so long. And the one thing that I find interesting in a lot of these supposed alien stories is that they say that when they pray is when they see the alien crafts. And I'm convinced that it's the same thing. It's fallen angel technology. These are spirits, these are demons, and we've been trained through Hollywood to think that aliens are a thing when it's actually just another way to describe what has always been told to us in the Bible. Just my thoughts. Next up, we have a clip from a YouTube channel called the Conscious Wealth Podcast. And he has a lot of knowledge, and he is going to be describing the nature of the U.S. corporation, allegedly.
The United States, as you know it,
Yeah.
is not a nation.
Right.
It's a corporation.
Yep.
And federal law will show you this. Just look up 28 USC 3002 subsection 15A.
Yep.
It will clearly state for you right there. United States means a federal corporation.
Yep.
So if the United States is a corporation and you pay taxes, what are you? Property of the corporation.
Yep.
Their name for it is chattel,
Chattel.
just like cattle. The nation you think you're in
Yeah.
was once a nation. It's
Yeah.
not that it's always been this way.
Right.
It's just that the United States nation
Yep.
went bankrupt around 1900. And in order to get out from bankruptcy, the nation had to sell itself to foreign insurgents, particularly European money, banking cartels.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's where you hear names like the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers.
Yep.
So the United States was sold, and at that time, the way in which they structured the deal was like, all right, we're in way too much debt. We're not gonna be able to get out from under this, so we're gonna sell it to you. So the United States is currently owned by Europe. So people are all patriotic, and they want to, support the United States and get really nationalist with it, right? And it's like people don't even understand what they're actually supporting. Or like people get mad at me for talking about not paying taxes, like, oh, you're not contributing like to our
Yeah.
rebuilding of our roads and things like that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's just
Yeah, the roads.
not how it works.
Yeah.
The IRS.
They're- 'cause the
is
roads are
owned by
great.
the IMF, which is owned by European families. So like if you want to put money in the Rothschilds trust
Yeah.
that they don't pay taxes on,
Yeah.
go for it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to live in fear, and I choose to educate myself on what's really going on. And if they're allowed to do this, I want to figure out how I can do this. Part of what they did to structure that deal because remember, they're massively in debt, and
Yeah.
like, we don't know how to get out of this.
Yeah.
So why would foreign insurgents want to buy this? Why would that be a good deal for them?
Right.
So
Yeah.
So they had to spice it up.
Yeah.
So here's how they spiced it up. All of your property and your citizens, there's that word. You want to be careful with the word citizens.
Yeah.
Are going to become our property, and we're going to tax them. Our dollar is worth about 35 times less than it was in 1913.
Wow.
35.
Wow.
First, you have to understand that the United States is a corporation.
Yep.
Then you have to understand that the Federal Reserve isn't what you think it is.
Yeah.
So, have you ever noticed on the back of our dollar bills, what does it say?
In God we trust.
What is that last word?
Trust.
What is a trust?
A trust is held for financial reasons.
So, specifically, trusts are usually tax exempt.
Right.
Okay. So, we've been going throughout our lives, at least this is true for me, thinking that our money, like, oh, that's cool, they're keeping God in the name.
Yeah.
Right.
That is the name of their trust. So the same way you could create a trust called Real Deal Trust, and that would protect your family's assets from taxes and potential liability.
Yep.
They called their trust In God We.
Yep.
That's the name of it.
Scumbag.
But they did it so cleverly that when you read it out, In God We Trust, you think you're saying we trust God. So you've got the In God We Trust up here. It's called the Cest Quivi Trust.
Yep.
Right.
And then you'll have like branches coming out of it.
Yep.
And the United States Corporation is under it. And you could also think of the IRS over here under it.
Yeah.
So you have these, and then, okay, let me go further.
Yes.
So you have the United States.
Yep.
Then what is in the United States?
We are
50 states.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So each state is also its own corporation. Then let's go down from that. Inside of states, what do you have?
Cities.
You have cities. Each city is its own corporation. And then how
Right.
do states and cities enforce law? Police and court. Policemen are debt collectors. The court is a debt collector for the business of that jurisdiction. So if you get pulled over in San Diego by SDPD, that is a debt collector. That is not a criminal law interaction.
Yeah.
That is a commercial law, commerce, business. You can look these things up on Dun & Bradstreet.
Yeah.
You should be familiar with
Of
that.
course.
You run a business.
Yeah, of course.
You can look it up.
Yeah.
So you guys can look up the In God We Trust.
You can find this trust.
Yeah, and you can also look up the largest trust in the world. I recently learned this. Seed and Co. CEDE and Co. It owns something like 72 trillion in assets. This is what I'm talking about. You know, these rabbit holes go deep, but what's crazy about it is, as fragmented as they can sometimes seem, everything I have studied thus far connects.
That is wild. And it's all designed to usurp your authority over your own yourself, your autonomy, your body, your own livelihood. In the past, we were each our own corporation, and I believe that is the authority that has been usurped, allegedly. The In God We Trust. That's some sneaky stuff right there. Okay, these clips were pretty long today, so we have time for one more.
Demons built the lost city of Tartaria. We all know that Noah's flood was sent to rid the world of evil, but the question is, what kind of evil? Well, you see, legend has it that before the flood, demons or fallen angels came down to the earth to cause chaos by giving them something that they didn't have: knowledge. For a period of 1600 years, humans who possessed the knowledge from these fallen angels had access to advanced technologies that not only helped them conquer the world, but build empires. Interestingly enough, the legend of Tartaria also speaks of a society who had access to advanced technology and knowledge that somehow disappeared overnight because of something called the mud floods. Furthermore, a 2,000-year-old book called the Book of Jubilees was later released on the life of Noah after the flood, and it was even written that the children of Noah will claim the ruins of once great palaces for themselves, building their empire on what was already there. Could this just be the tip of the iceberg to the story of humanity as we know it? And is it possible that demons...
It is very possible. They say that Solomon had 72 demons under his control, and there's a seal for each one of them. And those seals are said to still exist today. I just think maybe that technology has been hidden from us. Like, I feel like a broken record when it comes to this, but I think that we are so far from where we were meant to be as a species, as humanity. But God knew this, and this is why he sent his son. He knew that it was going to be this way and that we were going to need grace, and he loves us that much. That much. Thank you for coming back and joining me again, and I really hope that you enjoyed the videos that I had for you today, and I will see you guys next time. Until then, stay highly motivated.